When Kevin Durant went down with an Achilles injury in Game 5 of the 2019 Western Conference Semifinals, there was a sense amongst Rocket fans that a window of opportunity to finally take down the Golden State dynasty had arrived. With James Harden putting together one of his best and most consistent playoff series performances, it felt like there was a real chance for the Rockets to overcome. When they failed to beat the stacked Warriors team, it led to the end of that era of Rockets basketball. That summer, the Rockets traded away future Hall of Fame point guard Chris Paul for another future Hall of Fame point guard, Russell Westbrook. This new pairing ended up in the same position as the 2019 team, losing in the second round of the Western Conference Semifinals to the LeBron-led LA Lakers. Looking back at the 2019 Western Conference Semifinals that led to where the Rockets are today, it made me want to examine the on-court reasons the Rockets lost that Game 6 to a Kevin Durant-less Golden State Warriors team. And when I started to watch the film, it became apparent to me the reasons why they lost. Just those two guys. Okay, this is not an ideal situation. Iguodala on Chris Paul. That's a win for the defense. Look at the length. You get a good screen from Capella. Draymond's there to help and stunt. Bogut is in the drop. Clay is there to tag. Harden is at half court. This annoyed me. If y'all remember tag rules, right? So let's go to the drawing board for this one. If you're running the pick and roll and the drop, essentially what you want to do is to be able to generate enough space either between the ball handler attacking or the roll man attacking and getting downhill, especially because we know Capella's not going to pop. So Iguodala has to try to fight over the screen to stop this action here. Bogut has a choice. He can either try to stop Capella or he can try to stop Chris Paul, but he cannot stop both. The spacing here isn't ideal because Draymond could swipe. But one of the things that the defenses do to prevent Capella and to make this choice a little bit easier is you get a tag man. Now, the tag man isn't scot-free, right? His job is to slow up Clint Capella until Iguodala can get in front of Chris Paul and try to make a contest. And then this allows Bogut to then recover back to the rim to help out. One of the dilemmas the tag man has is that if he comes in here to help too hard, he also has a responsibility of keeping the shooter at bay. Why the hell is this shooter at half court? That's my question. And I know that there was a thing where Chris Paul was saying that he needed help from Harden in the offense. This is, you can say, well, he's spacing the floor, but there's other rules to the games that him being involved in the offense itself would have made it easier and better for them to run their actual offense, because essentially you're playing 4-on-5 right now. So not only can Clay help off of Harden, he's not worried because unless Harden is Steph, he's safe there in backcourt chilling. And that is just one of the things that we all have to keep in mind about this offense that we ran and some of the issues that they had with each other. So let's see how it goes on this one. Iggy's actually able to recover incredibly well. It leads to a Clint Capella hook shot, which is not ideal. Here's what I was talking about with Harden at half court. Allowing Clay to be able to swipe at the ball, he hasn't even crossed half court yet. There's no support there for Chris Paul running this pick and roll when you got an extra man on the defense able to disrupt your dribble. Gets downhill, gets to a spot. Money. Get Harden downhill, initiating offense fast. This is when it's good for him. Don't let them get loaded up. Don't let them get set. I wish he would do this more. Gets a nice floater, gets it in there. Get an action here. Draymond screening for Clay. You see now they get into their split post position. Now Here's where this is probably the most deadly. Like I said earlier, this is where they make their living. This is what has won them all those championships, gotten them to 5 finals or whatever. All the accolades is from this action right here, because once they're in this position, it is all hell raining loose on everybody. Okay, so what you have here, you see Draymond there. Draymond there is the weapon. Anytime they get in this action, the first read they want to do is get the screen off of one of their shooters. It could be Steph, it could be Clay. They're going to come off one of these screens, and the postman is going to pass it to him. You also have the backside here regarding whoever this individual is. It doesn't matter. But if it's one of the other Splash Brothers here, they have the ability to screen for this individual. They also could run actions where they could slip the screens. One of the Splash Brothers could cut. They could run dummy actions backside, but it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're going to get the shots that they want. Eric Gordon does a great job of jumping out on that. So there's nothing there. And now it's just taking advantage of the mismatch. Wasn't able to capitalize. Chris Paul pushes, offensive foul. Get a screen here. Capella's in a drop. That won't cut it, man. What have we talked about, guys? You can't start off in this position. You can't start off in this position. You can't start off in that position, Capella, on Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. We've seen this happen over and over to plenty of bigs. We just saw this with Al Horford and the Celtics. As people yelled at their TVs, why is he playing so far back? It's just crazy. It's sickening. It's maddening. You got to be up on him. I have to find the video of Mike D'Antoni yelling at Clint to get up on Steph Curry. If I have it, I'll put it on this tape. Here's how you beat the switch. So the Warriors know we want to switch everything, try to deal with their shooting. Eric Gordon is doing a good job of staying face guarding Clay, which is the lone great shooter out there. Their offense is a little bit harder with just one of the Splash Brothers, but it's still deadly because they cut and they move. So you get here, Draymond is going to fake. He's going to fake the screen here, and this is all they're going to do to disrupt the Rockets. This works all game long. Ghost the screen. Because their shooters are so good that Eric Gordon is communicating with PJ right now. Switch. Like, get up. That's Klay Thompson. PJ's only thought is, I have to not let Klay get this shot off. Eric is bracing for the screen. Draymond just slips it. And Andrew Bogut with the high IQ bounce pass. Your big is out there on the action with the initial screen. There's nobody at the rim to protect. That's a layup. Keep that in your mental bank, because it's going to come up over and over and over again. You get a Harden ISO on Iguodala. They won this. Anytime I see this, it's a win for the defense. They make you work hard. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not going to win the game. That's really hard offense. That's really, really hard. Harden downhill. Good pass out. Kicks it over to Shump. Good reset. Money. You just got to keep the ball popping, man. Every time we settle for a 15-second ISO, as good as Harden is in the playoffs, those shots get shorter, your legs get tired. It wears toll on you, man. Got to move that ball. This is actually something I refer to, the empty corner. Whenever you get a screen into the empty corner, the defense is pretty much helpless. And I was speaking about Jalen Green. When he gets into this zone, he kind of hesitates and tries to dribble and do all this stuff. He needs to either go or shoot it, like, immediately. And you can see here, Klay is trying to ice this because he does not want the screen to occur because he knows Looney will be all by himself against James Harden. But Nene does a good job of repositioning the screen and gets a good screen on him. And Harden, being the professional bucket he is, just leads to a nice, just right into it. That got to be just, I know this is not a Jalen Green video, but he has to add that to his game. You can't be like waiting for letting the big get up on you or letting the help come. As soon as you get into that empty corner, wherever your feet land, it could be a 2 or a 3. You got to just either shoot that thing or you got to just drive to the rim. Got to go fast. There you go. That's how it got to be. Okay, so we're going to pick up this game at where the rubber hits the road. It's the fourth quarter. The Rockets are up 5 points in a closeout game. Golden State is up 3-2. And if the Rockets can seal this win, they'd be able to go on to a Game 7 and face the Warriors at then Oracle. So it's 85-82, still a 5-point game. James Harden's out the game. You get Chris Paul on Quinn Cook. He sees this as a mismatch, goes into an ISO. That's easy money. 7-point game. You get PJ doing a good job kind of denying and preventing the screen there from the Warriors. You get a fast break here with Gerald Green and PJ Tucker. Not really the best. Okay, he could have passed that out to PJ, who's wide open. You got Chris Paul, who should really have the ball, and that's what we get out of the fast break. Now, this is winning time. All these possessions count. Still a 7-point game. These are the minutes you got to win when Steph is on the bench. Klay gets into the post, kicks it out to Iggy. 3. 4-point game. Chris Paul wants to switch out onto Quinn Cook, sees that as a mismatch. The Warriors do not care about our backcourt and the pop-outs because they are going to recover and force our guys to shoot contested jumpers. Leads to a turnover. Okay, Harden's back in the game, so is Steph. It's a 4-point game. Draymond comes up. The pressure you see or you feel when you have Steph and Draymond adjacent to each other, it's probably indescribable. So I'm going to show you guys why this team is so cold. He's going to come up and set a screen. And CP3 has to brace himself for that screen. Because as he's bracing, PJ then is thinking, I have to go and make sure I show out on the best shooter ever right here. Right? That's their thought process. On the backside, they're going to be running another action here where either Klay is coming out this way off the Jerebko screen, or if Eric, I think that's Eric Gordon or whoever that is, overplays trying to deny the screen, Klay can go backside. The reason all of this is in play is because this guy is one of the best passers in a short roll. And what you're going to see Draymond do over and over in this quarter is slip this, because he knows these two guys are thinking about this guy. And this is the action that Mike D'Antoni and the Rockets could not stop. We could not answer this. We could not solve this formula. It didn't matter who was in there. We just could not solve it. It did not matter who was in there. Let's see it again. Because PJ doesn't know what is about to happen, he tries to switch it with Steph. They don't know who's taking who because Draymond slips it so much. It leads to an open Steph layup. That's 2 points for him. Once again, the Warriors have made the decision that they're going to trap our ball handlers coming off the screens. Kicks back to Chris Paul. Livingston is there. Then they're going to force us into ISOs. Chris Paul hits a tough jumper. Split post action again. Once again, the same things are all in play. The screen here is in play. The backdoor cut for Steph is in play. The screened and slip for Draymond is in play. Then you can't fall asleep back in. And the reason they do this stuff on the backside is so there's no help. You can't rotate. You're at their mercy here. And if they feel they have a mismatch, they'll just attack whatever mismatch. So that used to be Kevin Durant. That would be Kevin Durant. Unguardable from this position on one of your guards or some guy that's 6'1" or something like that. And they still have this action going and this action going with Kevin Durant. That's why they were unbeatable with him. Without him, it's just as hard. It's just as hard. You see, they still run the flare screen here with Steph. PJ does a great job of being able to cut that off. You can see on the back end, Clay cuts down, shows there. The cut off the flare screen. The Rockets do a great job picking all this up, so it just leaves Livingston to ISO on the Chris Paul and gets the bucket. It's a 2-point game. You got Steph there with EG on him, Capella. I don't think I like this. Look at Capella's hands. That's too much room, Capella. What they say, hand down, man down. Come on, man. I think that's 5 for Steph. 1-point game. It's winning time. He got 15 points right now. It's winning time. Harden denies the screen here. Has Steph backpedaling and gets to the bucket. When Harden makes quick decisions going downhill, he's a very dangerous player. Obviously we all know he's a great offensive player, but when he's coming downhill because of the fouling, ability to draw fouls, it's really impossible. Just a bad pass. It's the fourth quarter of the Western Conference Semifinals. We can't have this. Trying to draw a foul, gets caught in the air because Steph gets his hand out the cookie jar, telegrams a pass to Chris Paul, turns the ball over, leads to a fast break, gives up a layup. You gotta want it, man. 2-point game. Tied up after that layup. Get the high screen from PJ Tucker. Clay does not care. Usually when the offensive screener kind of pushes them off, it's like, okay, we're going to concede this. They're not conceding anything. They're trapping Harden. They're going to make him get the ball out of his hands. And now you get Iggy on the rotation. Guys, I want you to look at something. Look at this. Look at Steph Curry pre-rotate from one side of the court to another. Is involved in an initial defensive stop there. Harden has to kick it to, look at this guy. Chris Paul hasn't caught the ball yet. That's championship. You don't have to like the Warriors, but damn it, you got to respect them. Chris Paul has not caught the ball yet. He's already rotating. Gets the rebound, man. All right, same thing here. Rockets get the ball back. Tied ball game. Steph on the island with Harden. Floater. Added that floater to his game. Really to me, was the key to him having his best playoff series. Because other years, he would have been flailing into the body of the defender for a foul. That floater really gave him an outlet when they overplay him on the three-point line like they're doing. Okay, once again, screen action here. Draymond slips it because Steph is such a deadly shooter that's going to be there. The Rockets are out of position to guard him because they're expecting the screen there. I don't know how many times they ran this play. Leads to a floater. Tied game again. Get Chris Paul going downhill. Good contest there. Got fouled. Didn't get called. Leads to an EG isolation on Sean Livingston. Chris Paul throwing his body around. I think he draws a foul. Tied ball game still. Get Iggy on Harden. Iggy is just a great defender, man. This guy's so long. Green and roll here. Harden rejects it. Catches the defense off. Him coming downhill. That's what you want to see. Just blows the layup. That was a foul by Capella. Didn't get called. Get Iggy once again guarding Harden. Harden gets a step on him coming downhill. Rifles the pass, man. Look at his bullet. This is the genius of James Harden. Gotta hit those shots, man. That's a backbreaker. That is a backbreaker. Watch this. What do y'all think is coming? Another screen slip, right? Slips, and they trap. Draymond on the short roll. The most dangerous player in NBA history is Draymond on a short roll. You have Steph being trapped at the top of the key over there. You have EG stuck to Clay. The only person that can actually help and try to tag Looney is James Harden, and we know, yeah, that's not going to happen. Warriors up 2. Clay's able to tie the ball up on a drive. Still a 2-point game, man. This is a close game. Once again, if I sound like a broken record, I know. Watch Draymond. Slip. Short roll. Oops. Nope, we're not short rolling. This is what's so difficult. Oh, you're not going to slip me this time, says PJ. Draymond fakes it. And look at Steph. Screens for him. This little pocket, just because Draymond jab step on the fake slip, Chris Paul is stuck on his hip. PJ is not there. This is an open shot, man. That's an open shot. Yeah, that's money. Slips the screen, fakes the drive. Almost gives him like a jab step you see a running back give. Screen. Backbreaker. Daggers. 5-point game. Winning time. 3 minutes. High screen and roll with Capella there. Looney's keeping Harden in front. I don't know what Iggy is doing. He's guarding him with his back. Open shot for Harden. Gets short. His legs are getting tired. Once again, gets Steph on him. There you go. Hits a big bucket there. 2-point game. Winning time. Who's going to make a play? Once again, Draymond, Steph screen. Always keep your eyes on the back end too. Just to point out something. Don't look over here. Look down here, right? Let's look over here. You can't really chill back here because they're always doing something. They're always keeping you occupied with some action that's going to take advantage of something that's going on. So you can see they run the same play where Draymond sets the screen for Steph, slips it, comes downhill. Capella's there waiting on him. Chris Paul does a good job of sealing off Looney and forces Draymond into a contest. Good defensive play right there. Time to win the game. You get a push off. You can't extend that arm like that. That was costly. 102-100, 2-point game, winning time. PJ Tucker one-on-one with Steph Curry is not good. Hits him with a dribble. Layup. 4-point game. 2 minutes. You get 2 drag screens here. Usually a guy pops. Then you can turn the other one into a pick and roll, whatever you want to do. Eric Gordon is pretty open here. Good read by Harden, of course. Good pump fake. Harden resets, leads to an EG floater. Just rims out. That's tough. Kicks it back out. So this, if I remember correctly, a lot of people were like, Harden is being passive. Why is he passing it in these moments? He should take all the shots. He's probably tired. He's been ISOing against Iguodala, and he doesn't want to see that. He doesn't want to see Iggy right now. If that was Steph, he would have taken that shot. But good pass out to CP. You get Draymond. You go from Draymond to Clay to Iggy. It just doesn't stop with the good defenders. But C's able to get in there and get the layup. 2-point game. Okay, you get an ISO. You notice when they get PJ Tucker on Steph, they just let him cook. And cook does he. Look at this. Oh my God. Gave that boy the package. That's a bad dude, man. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Then the turnover. It's winning time. 5-point game. Our 2 best players. Can't get an inbounds, man. That's... I'm still here. I'm just having traumatic flashbacks. 5-point game, 1 minute left. Scrambling for the ball. Look at this. Get the ball back. Get a screen. Going downhill. Harden going downhill is a dangerous guy. Gets the layup. 3-point game. Okay, there's life. 44 seconds left. Draymond screen. He actually does screen it. They trap it. He rolls out on the short roll. One of the most dangerous players. Draymond on the short roll. Look at this pass. Look at this. Not losing their cool. It's like they're on one accord, man. Fakes the floater. Look at this pass. Chris Paul is hauling. PJ Tucker is hauling. But That little pocket is all he needs, man. Dagger. That's game. They know it. We know it. Honestly, everything else here is just window dressing. Just window dressing, man. It's too late for all that. 23 seconds. Free throws. I think we get it down to 3. All of a sudden, everybody can hit their threes. 3-point game. Ball game. It's over. And with that, Chris Paul, James Harden era in Houston was over. I mean, after just watching film on that series, there are so many levels as to why we lost. I think it was a mixture of the talent on the roster wasn't up to par. Right? You saw Gerald Green playing minutes. You saw Nene playing minutes. You saw Austin Rivers and Shumpert playing minutes throughout the series. And not saying these are bad players. It's just when you're facing a team that's that good, you need high level, high IQ, high pedigree guys across the board. Right? And I don't blame Harden. I don't blame Chris Paul, because honestly, for what they had, they did what they had to do. It could have been easier if they played better together. I feel like their relationship was impacted. How they play, the fact that they weren't getting along, the fact that Harden didn't want to be part of the offense when Chris Paul initiated. I mean, you could see why that's an issue. But at the end of the day, we saw them run the exact same action over and over and over again, and we could not solve it. And I think that's an indictment on the coaching. That's an indictment on the front office for not having the level of players that could play collectively together to be able to solve it. And to an extent, it's on the players themselves. I don't think it was fair to blame any individual person, whether it was Chris Paul or Clint Capella or James Harden. The Warriors are a great team, and this was a collective loss. And in all honesty, the Rockets still had a chance to be in that game, but their guys just didn't make the plays when it needed to be made.